You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's The River After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The River After Show.
Hey, yes. We didn't even do anything yet, and we got an applause. That's amazing.
We're excited to be here.
Yes, we are, everyone, because Bing is for doing. And we are here doing another AFTERBUZZ after show for The River Season 1, Episode 8, called Row, Row, Row Your Boat. I'm going to do everyone a favor and not sing that.
Should I?
Sure.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah. He applauded for it not being sung.
I know. So I'm not going to follow that.
No, but I am here, clearly, with my lovely co-host. I am Kristen Carney, and why don't you ladies go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I'm Anna Koppel.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Hey. Hi.
I feel like that's how we'd introduce ourselves if we were at AA.
Yeah.
Not you, but like it's like, okay, now everyone just go around and tell us your life story, but shortly. Do it quick.
Right.
I'm Molly Harper.
Hi,
Hey, Molly.
Sounds like Kristen Wiig or, like.
Yeah.
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 I'm Kendra Kababsele.
Yay.
Yeah,
Cool. Hi. Well, we are here celebrating and mourning the River season finale.
We should have champagne.
We
made
should
it
have
through.
champagne. I know. I want to do something green. Kendra's wearing green, which is good.
I didn't.
I know you didn't do it
Wait,
on
why the
purpose.
green?
Oh, for the river.
Because the river
yeah.
is green.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like
I thought it was like
Kinda
St.
like-
Patrick's Day was sort of
Oh,
recently.
no. Yeah, no, God.
No, it's just for the
thrown off.
camouflage,
Thrown
kind
way
of
off.
army.
Yeah. But the season basically is over. It is it. That is it. We hit the end. We had a cliffhanger type finale, which I don't know will sit well with a lot of people. Seeing that, we don't know if there's going to be a second season. And because this was such a short season, I think we had a lot of questions left wide open,
Unanswered,
like a gaping gash that was on Tess's arm.
Or the two guys.
The two gashes.
Oh, God.
So I don't know. How did you guys think tonight went? Was it a good ending or?
You know what just occurred to me is that had this been presented as a mini-series, I think so many things would have been much more forgivable. You know,
Right.
like if this was just like, oh yeah, it's a mini-series, whatever.
Right.
The ending, it's cool. Zombies, here they come. That's fine.
Right. Yeah, knowing that they were only going to do 6 episodes, they should have angled it that way.
Yeah.
Because regardless, picking up halfway through the season, they're clearly not going to get to 12, 13, 14 episodes. They should have just angled it that way in case.
Right.
Like a safe zone or
Right.
something. So I think it left. I mean,
dropped the
I
ball.
have a million gazillion questions. I don't know if that's just me, and I just always have questions about everything, and I don't understand anything
I have
to its fullest
pages.
extent.
Yeah.
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 Because we saw clearly, like they opened up tonight with family drama, which we didn't really get into over the series. So, we're opening a whole can of worms with only an hour to kind of get through it. And then also to wrap up the whole series. And I'm not saying wrap up the whole series. I should be safe and just say maybe wrapping up the whole series. Perhaps they could come back.
Right.
Might.
But I don't know. Tonight could have. I think the family. I think opening that can of worms, like I said, and I'm gonna use that reference again, between Lincoln and Emmet, kind of brought a screeching halt to the rest of the story arc, because it didn't continue them searching for the magic or the source. Anybody want to chime in here? You all just like to leave me hanging. You're like, this is really good practice for me. No, they've been long finished.
Oh, you're on cruise control.
Yeah. Like, someone pick it up, please.
I wasn't sure where they were going with this episode, and it's the last one, so it's kind of unfortunate. But it sort of became The Exorcist today,
right?
And I wasn't ready for that. I don't think Molly was ready for that. She was hiding.
I'm always ready for that.
Well, it's the monster of the week theory that I have about the show.
It was the monster of the week. It was a very exorcisty.
Yeah, and we missed the projectile vomiting from The Exorcist, which is fine with me. There were clearly elements taken, and the bones.
He was
twisted in all
vomiting.
different
He was
directions.
vomiting off the side of the boat.
Exactly.
Right after he.
But it wasn't the
Oh,
projectile. I want a stream. I want a fountain.
Yeah, it wasn't projectile. It just went over the boat. It was right after he kissed Lena. I'd be like, that's really rude.
Yeah.
Kiss a girl and then barf.
Yeah.
What else? You were offended by something else that the demon did.
Oh, I was what was I offended by?
Oh, because he said you're the. Oh, sorry.
Oh, he said to Clark, you went and effed my mom, and beep. They bleeped it out, and I was just like, I think that's just so nasty to talk about your mom that way.
Right. But clearly he's not controlling.
And then
Lincoln's
Anna was like, well, demons don't have manners.
No. Yeah, you see a demon at like an etiquette course with an old lady, and he's like, which one's the salad fork? Because I need to eat these guts, and that's the salad portion.
That's how the demon.
Right.
It was like all the sexual tension that has built up between Lincoln and Lena the whole series came out when he was a demon. And I was like, there's something kind of creepy.
It was like one giant orgasmic moment of being a demon.
But I was kind of like, good. They finally
did it.
Kind of got it on a little bit.
It was a climax for him.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well,
something about Lincoln as a demon made him a little hotter.
He did look good.
He did look
for
good.
sure.
Yeah, he had a little that meth addict look, like you said too. He looked skinnier,
emaciated and methy.
Yeah, but it's sexy.
How I like him.
Messy.
Lincoln's weight and his facial hair and like the color of his hair has fluctuated so much within these few episodes. I don't know if they like shot it over the span of a year or what, but
maybe he was doing the master cleanse and just dropped.
Maybe
do this now.
Maybe,
yeah, because it definitely wasn't intentional. There was no storyline with really, because if all of them had weight changes and facial hair changes,
right,
it would have maybe made a little sense. But so.
They didn't eat much the whole series, which I brought up earlier.
No, they didn't at all.
They really didn't. And I think actually it would have been a really great story point if, looking back, if finding food and coming across food had been a struggle, because they didn't anticipate being out there, first of all, as long as they were, I don't think. And, they got lost along the way. You would think there'd be a shortage of food supply, and like that kind of drama never came up, and that would explain not only the actors' severe weight loss,
but their mood swings.
But also it just would be kind of another interesting battle to see them to try to overcome, like where they're going to get their next meal.
Yeah, because today's episode was around day 36. Because I don't know if they went through night and day in this, so it said day 36 once Lincoln was deadzo. Yeah. So that's 36 days of trying to find food. Yeah. And clearly that wasn't really addressed. And that's something I am so trying to avoid bringing up right now, is the food thing. Because they had been getting it from one man who was from the village,
right.
But that guy was toast. He was dead.
Yep.
And did they have his boat, which had, did they attach it to the Magus? And
if they did, we didn't see it.
That boat had like potatoes, onions, and batteries. I remember.
Did it really have batteries?
Yeah.
For all the iPads and
when the battery was running
bizarre.
low.
Like, good thing this guy in his handcrafted canoe has batteries with him.
It's
right?
a good thing they
batteries
have
and
cell
mangoes.
phones and laptops.
Well, yeah,
away.
the laptop was revealed today for the first time.
Yeah.
And it was like spit shined. Like that just got out of the Mac
and
store.
they had Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Where did they get the Wi-Fi? And remember
You guys
in the
are making me want to kill myself.
The last several episodes, the map was like an old-timey map that you see in like 1800.
That's what
They're
There
like,
was
how do you navigate it? And then today it was like, ding, Google Maps is telling us
And now,
that.
and we have a little helicopter that we're gonna send up in the sky.
They had
did have
that from the beginning. That was like their camera, but yeah, that hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah, I am trying so hard to not talk about this stuff right now.
The prop master was like, "Oh shoot, guys, guess what I found? Let's use this again."
Right.
I love it.
Oh, that's funny.
Man, Shevitz, I really don't want that
Well,
stuff to trip me
yeah,
up.
I mean,
That's
did we talk-
awesome. That's awesome.
Just to talk about it more, did we talk about the barbecue? Because maybe they had some leftovers.
Did they actually
Remember
have
when
a
they had-
Day
yeah,
old
do you-
leftovers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
in
you
the
know.
Amazon.
You gotta
anything
make do.
goes.
Something that like really always, I don't know, impressed me maybe, is that these people were just like always in the water. They're always swimming. They're always like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like dive under the boat and fix whatever they're fixing, clear away those vines. And at first I was like, oh, that's cool, like they grew up on the Amazon, so, but it really like in retrospect makes no sense. I mean, they never, I don't know, like a snake never came around. There's no fear of malaria at all.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Or that Biona never sucked them under.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
It never brought them back.
The anaconda.
It's strange.
Yeah.
It's like not a
Jennifer
normal
Lopez.
response, or it's just not normal behavior.
You know what would have been cool? I was reading a couple weeks ago when we talked a little bit about the spirits of the Amazon. There's legends about there being like pink dolphins that swim down the Amazon that have spirits and captivate you and yada yada. It would have been cool if maybe they had incorporated that and maybe some mean pink dolphins.
Yeah.
could like
To
attract
appeal
them.
to the
I don't
12-year-old
know.
girls watching.
Well, just because it seems to be such a common like mythological tale down there that it would have been cool if maybe they had done that some more.
Yeah. Maybe
Some
they
more
didn't-
water creatures.
Yeah.
Would have been definitely cool.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't put that in because pink is so friendly that maybe it would have changed the vibe to like a little bit Lisa and Frank,
They could have changed the color.
like pink dolphins.
What color could they use?
Well, no, they could have changed the color, but if the myth says pink, Lisa. Do you remember Lisa and Frank? The diary stuff. No one remembers Lisa Frank. It wasn't Lisa and Frank.
Oh yeah, Lisa Frank. Now I do. Now I do. Yes.
Sounds like a sex predator. Like, no, Lisa Frank.
Yeah,
Lisa
totally.
and Frank.
Totally.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was like hot pink and purple with like hearts. And,
Yeah, and with
totally,
dolphins and
totally.
little stars.
Oh,
Yeah.
the binders.
Yeah, Lisa Frank. They
Duh.
always had
Like
It does sound
unicorns.
kind of
Nobody
like-
knows
Lisa and Frank. Lisa and Frank sounds just
You said it with such conviction.
yeah.
It was-
Lisa
that was
and.
good.
Oh my God! All right, well let's talk about the Biona or
Biona.
Biona.
The Biona. This Biona.
Say it so well.
Banana.
He's gonna come like take me away with the way
Yeah,
I'm
don't
pronouncing
say it.
its name.
3 times.
We
Yeah.
should clarify, we have not had any champagne tonight.
Yeah.
But I think we all sound like we're drunk.
Yeah.
We're just so relieved. No, not relieved, but like all the tension from the episode is like kind of, there's kind
Well,
of some,
yeah,
was
you're right.
stressed out.
It was very tensiony.
yeah.
It was, very evil feeling, and I think we're all celebrating
Kendra,
that
what-
it's
what-
over.
you kept saying, I can't breathe.
Yeah, I was.
And we
'cause
just
I-
totally ignored her and kept on.
I know. Thanks, guys. No, I found myself like not, just kind
Not
of.
relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I was
That's
like,
how I
and
feel
my
every day
jaw
of my
was on the
life.
ground.
I was
Sorry,
clenched,
that's not fun.
butt cheeks clenched every day. Sorry. Okay.
No, it was scary. It was stressful.
Yeah. But have we seen? So is the Biona?
Biona.
Is that something that has been through every episode? Is that the source? Is that the source? Because I thought this episode was going to be focused more on what the source was or is.
Biona.
But that was
thing
kept to be a secret. The source, Emmet was like, it's better that you should hate me.
Right.
Which is like code for we couldn't think of anything cool enough.
Right.
I have a Brazilian mythology definition here of what it actually is in real life.
Awesome. Go for it.
It's the translation is black snake, and it says a gigantic nocturnal serpent that is the personification of the Amazonian rivers, and feared by many fishers who live in that area. As part of the TV show The River, as a sacred area, and no one is to enter.
It would have been nice if they had said that the first episode.
Didn't they say, was it, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it the god of, they were saying the god of the demons?
God of the demons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
they
what-
said the god of the demons and the spirit of the Amazon is
And
what. Is
another
what he said.
another definition that I just found it online was that the general meaning is spirit of the Amazon. So it seems like the show has taken that and adapted it for their own purposes.
Right.
But
And it did say, not that this is that big of a deal, but the god of all demons, not of demons. So
Right.
it would have been cool if they had maybe shown that black serpent.
yeah, that would have been great imagery.
Yeah.
Maybe winding down along the side of the boat or wrapping itself around the boat. Something for us to grasp maybe what it was. We know obviously that Emmet or that Lincoln was possessed, but you know, as we all know, there's movies like The Exorcist. So we're just thinking maybe possessed by the devil, because that's what maybe Christians would be thinking. That's kind of like the traditional take on if you're possessed, it's like it's Satan, you know. So it would have been cool, or it would have been. Obviously, they kept calling it the Biona.
But I thought that was the area of the Amazon that they were in. They had traveled into the specific area, and that was the Biona.
Like house. It was
Was
its
it,
home.
or was it
Yeah.
called something similar?
No, I think. Oh, whoops. Sorry, microphone. That they had. What was it that his something had originally gone off? Bleaker or whatever. Anyway,
I'm trying to think of it. I'm like,
that they went to go find Emmet originally, and Jahel was like, "Oh, we can't go in there. That's the Biona. It's forbidden."
Right.
But they're like,
So they kept referring it to as a place and a thing.
"Yeah,
It seemed like
yeah."
a little confusing.
Well, I'm so Jahel or whatever. God, these names.
Well,
She
actually,
was so
we-
ethnic.
we had been calling her Jahel, but you're correct
Yeah.
in saying Jahel because
Jahel.
I think J's are Y's.
Yeah.
Spanish. We messed up.
Well, Jahel has been very aware of everything that's evil, all the spirits. And so when she called upon the Biona to, I know we're butchering the way this is pronounced, forgive us. We just watched the episode. When she called upon it, I would have thought that she would know that would bring about evil, because this whole series has been very skeptic or very aware and scared of this evil presence. And she would not do anything to invite this presence in. And so she invited this presence in, which was interesting to me. It was a different choice than what she would normally make. And I know she wanted to save Lincoln, but she didn't know, saving Lincoln, that ultimately they would be able to get rid of the spirit, which they did. So it left Lincoln, good as new. But that was an interesting choice for her to make. And then aside from that, when her father came and said to her, "Your mother also had this ability," and she said, "Where is my mother?" And he said, "In a place you never want to know." Mm-hmm. I thought they were going to cut to a shot of where she was, but they just cut to Captain Kurt.
Yeah.
Sitting in the basement. So, I guess leaving all these things open, because that's pretty cool. If Jahel hadn't known her mom this whole time, her whole entire life, and assumed she was dead, and all of a sudden finds out that she is alive somewhere in this like badass place, I wanted them to go there.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe they should have made this a 2-hour finale. I think that would have made sense.
That was definitely something that they left open. They left a lot of things open today that they kind of, like hinting at that mother, telling us finally that AJ is gay.
Yeah, also
they left a lot of doors open. Like that came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
gay.
Missed that part?
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
Clark was like, "Are you gay?" And then
He's like,
AJ was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "How come you never told us?" And he was like, "Well, why would it come up?"
That part.
That
was really good.
Yeah. Thank you. I took an acting class when I was like 16. So, and then that was it.
Yeah, but I have that in my notes. I'm like, AJ gay. Why now? Who cares?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
I didn't
really.
Yeah.
I
Where
mean,
were we?
I don't know.
oh wait,
what
we
purpose
should
that would serve.
have a token gay person in our show to show how open-minded we are.
Right.
Don't forget
At
to
the
throw that
end.
in.
Eight
at the
episodes
end.
too late.
Well,
8 episodes.
And 10 years too late. Like, we're over it. We don't really care.
yeah.
well,
It's absurd.
but he survived till the end. I'm happy about that.
Right.
And
Well, they can't
Clark,
kill
and
off
the
a gay
other
guy.
big kind of door they left open was Clark literally went mental in this episode.
Yes.
And when Lincoln was possessed by the demon and went down to Kurt and said, "I know who you are. I know who
Right.
you are," in that German accent, and this German demonic voice came over him. Well, who is he?
right.
They
What was
never
all
told
that
us.
about?
Right.
I don't know. So many questions. Well,
and
they better
so
get
little
picked up for
answers.
another
As
season.
we discussed before too, nobody asked Emmet what happened, where he's been.
I know this.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard on certain things to not bring them up because they make me so angry. Because I feel like in human life, the first thing you would do if someone that you have been searching for 30 days in this freaky place, the first thing you would do
in like a year
is be like, where the hell were you? What happened?
Who
Tell us
took you there?
everything. Instead, they ignore that. And I think when they ignore something like that, they ignore the audience because we want to know. We have been loyal for this many, we put in 8 hours of our lives, which is a drop in the bucket for me. Someone lived to thousands and thousands of
Minus
years.
the fast forward of
Right. Yeah. So we put in about 30 minutes roughly.
right.
But
plus the 8 hours of AfterBuzz that we commit to this.
Exactly.
I mean,
oh yeah.
and the hours I think about this and what am I going to talk about?
those are countless. Yeah.
It's just we deserve those. I feel like we deserve those kinds of answers because it's satisfying.
Yeah.
We've been waiting to find out this
Where
whole
was
time.
his off-camera interview?
Right.
Well, but
Yeah.
maybe
For
they
real.
were still like the adrenaline's up. They're still trying to get out, and then once they're back at the house with the reporters at the door, like they said, maybe that's when they'll say, "Okay, so what happened?
Right.
We're safe. We're comfortable."
Yeah. I mean, I would just be so curious.
Yeah, but
It's like
well,
Christmas morning in a way. Like, oh, what's in my package?
And he's like, "Oh no," but the source is still like. I feel
But
like
tell me, I'd be shaking it, listening, trying to hear what's inside the box. Like I would
Dr.
just,
Cole.
yeah, I would need to know. I mean, that's just something I have been looking for 30 days for you, asshole. Tell me everything.
Yeah.
Basically,
Maybe
would be
they're
my
not. Maybe they're not
attitude.
ready because
He owes them an explanation.
Dr. Clark. Wait, Dr. Clark? No,
Emmett?
Clark
Clark
quietly.
And
Is
then
he a
Captain
doctor?
Kurt.
No, he's
not
just a
doctor.
producer.
He plays one on TV. Oh, right.
Producers don't
no,
have
'cause-
credentials.
Oh, ouch. No,
No, on the show.
No, I know.
The,
Just say ouch.
no, but because of their relationship
real life,
too. We got, like, laughing
I've been
gas.
one. I have no credentials. Please.
Anyways, so my points.
Anyway.
It doesn't even matter. Never mind.
Oh my
on to the
goodness.
next.
Well, back on track. All right. So we know that the shooter was Jonas.
All right, that's another thing.
Right.
So, why was it so hard for Jonas to believe that Lincoln came back from the dead when
he came back from the
Yeah,
dead.
he's like, dude, you saw that, right? He was dead. Like, yeah, so are you. Like that's how things roll there, apparently. So,
Right. Well,
it's
Jonas
ridiculous.
Jonas also seemed to not be concerned with his lesson that he should have learned from the first time he did something bad, which was get hung for like a couple months in a tree and not fed and basically was a dead corpse. And I think that would have taught me a lesson not to maybe do something bad again, especially in the Amazon, because it's out to get you. So if the series continued, I think something really bad would happen to Jonas again. So he's, written as an incredibly flawed character, killing Lincoln. But was his motivation to kill Lincoln his jealousy?
No, he was trying to kill Dr. Emmet.
But he missed.
Oh, right. But why? Oh, right. He wanted to kill Emmet because Emmet left him behind.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, well, listen, Jonas, you're going to get hung again. Bad decisions.
Wait, but what happened to Kate? Kate?
She was gone.
Yeah, she just
Rabbit.
Disappeared.
But then we assumed that she was the shooter.
I thought
at
she was a
one
shooter
point.
because we hadn't seen her face.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
thought maybe she was hiding in the
another
in the
thing that's
bushes.
In the doll
She
tree.
disappeared.
Who knows?
Yeah.
She might reappear.
Yeah, all the holes in this episode, it's like holier than my underwear. I don't know. I have really old underwear. I don't know.
You can try again if you want.
Well, so then what ended up? Okay, so Jonas, I'm trying to wrap my head around everything that happened. So then Lincoln was so powerful from the spirit that he railed Jonas in the face. And then Jonas went down, but did Jonas die? Because we didn't see from Jonas after that. And
Yeah,
there was just a
it
lot of blood
seemed-
splatter.
It seemed as though he.
We saw him in the vent, and then
That was his hand leaking.
right,
Okay.
and then
I was thinking that was
good old
Captain
what's her
Kurt.
name? No,
Okay.
he was.
But it was weird though because when Dr. Emmett went into the viewing room and was watching the tapes, and the tape of what went down
Right.
between Lincoln and Jonas did not die.
right.
Right, there
So
was
that
no
was a little
image of that.
confusing.
But I think that the demon had the power to change that because later Lena said so Jonas is dead. Can I see him? And they're like, yeah, but you won't recognize him. Do you remember that?
And we're just to everybody listening.
I think I'm so traumatized that
Just to everybody at home listening, we just got done watching this episode, so we are trying to sort this all out and figure it all out because there's a lot going on and there's a very fluctuating story, it seems like a lot of the time. So keeping track of this is very difficult. So please forgive us if we seem to be going back and trying to figure out what happened because we just watched and we are trying to figure out what happened. So if anyone has any phone calls that they'd like to let us know, give us your 2 cents. You can always give us a call at
Please do.
424-256-1729. Because we are just trying to unravel this mystery that is the river.
It's like a constant puzzle, and I've never been good at puzzles.
Same here.
It is.
Well, yeah, but usually puzzles, the pieces
They
fit
fit,
together
and it's a big
and you have
picture.
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the pieces. So,
Yeah.
the other thing that here's
I know I'm making these just because I'm like I just don't know what's going on.
Well, I
what
think
am I missing?
another theme, though, that did play out in this episode that has played out throughout all of them is the good versus evil. And that, I think, played out really strongly the whole time. And,
I'm sorry.
what? Good versus
Nothing.
evil? You don't think that was a theme?
I think we're
No, I definitely think it
Scrambling
was
for
a
straws,
Well,
like-
I think we are, but I think Molly does have a good point.
no, I know. I'm not.
think-
I'm not
oh.
knocking what you're saying.
Please,
I'm laughing at Kristen.
don't
still
even
and-
worry about it. Because I'm sure
you hurt
millions of
Molly's
viewers
feelings.
are knocking what I'm saying right now. So, it's fine.
I would say it was more of like a right versus wrong than good versus evil.
Yeah, same thing. Whatever you want to call it. Yin yang, good, bad, whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Dichot-
Can't do it.
dichotomy of two opposites.
Yeah. But I do see also where Anna's coming from because we didn't see any true good in the sense that we didn't see any higher thing intercepting these problems and shining a beautiful light on them and blessing these people. But I think the argument good versus bad is were you good versus bad or were you good versus bad?
That was me.
You were
said
good versus
right.
bad.
Right or wrong.
Right versus wrong. Yeah, because everything that has, if you've been wrong, you've gotten your payback. If you've been right, things have been turned right, but
Been forgiven or
have been forgiven. But this overall Biona thing, who is so evil, I'm not sure. It's okay. I'm not sure where they come together and what is counteracting the Biona, what that source or what that magic is. And I guess I'm upset because we didn't get that answer at all. Because we have seen things offset by doing right, but we don't know who is offsetting that. Exactly.
It's true.
here's the other
Let's
thing.
talk about Smash.
I was gonna say, were you thinking of Smash? Because it's something you said earlier.
No,
but-
I'm always thinking of it, just subconsciously.
Love it.
Something that was again inconsistent with the show, but in like the first episode with the spirit trees, that they had to figure out, the crew had to figure out what was wrong, like what the spirit wanted, which was the little girl wanted her mom back, right?
Right.
So they had to sort of like resolve that themselves, whereas everything after that was just kind of like, oh, I realized I was wrong, sorry, and then things would go back to normal, right?
Yeah.
So I liked that first episode a lot, or the first like two-parter, and I just think there was like more, I don't know, depth to it, or and it just seemed like such a cheat, like, oh, I was wrong, okay, cool, wrap it up,
Yeah.
you know?
Right. You have to really like repent,
Right.
for forgiveness, and you really have to truly feel it. Just because you say the words "I'm sorry," or it doesn't necessarily mean that you are.
Right.
And something like the source would be able to see within you to know if you're lying and if you're genuine. So yeah, I think it was definitely easygoing. It was like,
Yeah, totally.
it was like the teacher that if you cheated, they'd let you off easy and just say, oh, all right, just don't do it again. And that, but
Right.
you know, the kid doesn't really feel bad. They got away with it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the
Jonas.
Jonas
Yeah.
character.
It's kind of a doormat.
Yeah.
spirit.
But
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah,
I
like you
don't-
can walk all over it.
At the same time, I didn't feel like Jonas was necessarily developed as a.
He wasn't
like-
developed. He was really in it just so briefly.
Yeah.
And so if the series continued, you know, I would hope that they would develop him to really see his flawed nature, because it was like we only saw him when he was doing bad.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't see
I didn't
him.
really feel
No.
anything for his character.
Yeah, I know. I would. The one thing I
way.
did feel for him was just kind of like, I don't like you.
Me neither. And it didn't help
it-
when his off-camera interview today was like, they're like, so what are you looking forward to when you get back? He's like, I just want to have sex.
Yeah.
He was like, I hate
Yeah.
you. Go
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
I missed
He said
one.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
If you're going to be a character so kind of tacky and taboo like that, I feel like you have to have some redeeming qualities to have
doesn't.
people interested in you.
Like at least be attractive.
Right. And I read someone
He has an awful bowl cut.
someone
They are on the Amazon though.
Yeah,
They
but I
might not
mean,
have
still,
scissors.
you know, Lincoln pulled
But
it
they
off,
had-
right?
That's true.
And they had a laptop with GPS.
Yeah.
Or Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's like a fan of Justin Bieber in the Amazon.
Yeah, but he's got to go. I was kind of hoping somebody would die off, and if so, maybe it would be him. Because the only reason I thought somebody was going to die off was because when I was reading spoilers earlier today, I didn't want to read the whole thing because I didn't want to be spoiled. But they said somebody will get shot. I was like, ooh, someone's going to die. Maybe it'll be Jonas.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
they didn't.
No, no.
They didn't say somebody was going to die and come back.
Yeah. Well, on a message board, someone had written that they found Tess to be incredibly unlikable, but they still hoped that she would find Emmet. And so I wish. So maybe if they made Jonas, I mean, Jonas is such a minor character with a big role in a sense, but if they made him someone a little bit more like Tess, where she did things wrong, but you're still rooting for her to get her husband back, maybe you'd have more connection to Jonas. Jonas shooting Dr. Emmet didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
It didn't do it. It would have done it for me more if it was Captain Kurt, because as we saw about 3 episodes in, which I've mentioned several times, when he now we know he was talking to his girlfriend who was at the asylum working with these medicines. He said they'll be dead in a few days, and then he said to AJ last week, "I'm going to kill Dr. Emmett Cole."
It just would have made more sense.
It just would have made a lot more sense, and not that it would have been predictable. It just would have been a little bit more justified. And I know that Jonas had been left behind by Emmet, but Jonas just played such a small role that I didn't care if it was Kurt. You have a little empathy for Captain Kurt just because you know now that his love interest had been killed or turned into, you know, somebody feeding off of other people, and you know, and he wanted to marry her, and you saw their like little love scene, so you might have some empathy for him. But Jonas was, again, like, it's like, you know, Justin Bieber's #1 fan just shot somebody, and I'm like, oh well, you know, not doing it for me. So I don't know. I guess I'm not satisfied with this finale at all, just to
No.
be completely honest.
Well, all of it was all like very anticlimactic too. Just the idea that, yeah, Emmett's back, whatever. He's just like part of the crew now. That Jonas would just shoot him out of nowhere. That Lincoln and his father have repaired their relationship to a point where he's like jumping in front of a bullet for him. I mean, it's just all totally not believable.
Yeah.
And yeah, now this one's shot and that, whatever. It was just,
Right.
yeah, not
I
exciting.
was trying to.
The thing that bothers me a little bit is that Lincoln keeps trying to, you know, play up the "you were never there for me, Dad." Like, do you even know who my girlfriend is? You know,
was
when
the demon,
that was when
though.
he was a demon. But that theme has been consistent through all the episodes. That
Right.
he's complained about his dad was never around and that his dad's job was more important than
Right.
anything else. But quite frankly, I just don't find Dr. Emmett to be that unlikable of a character. So
Right.
whenever Lincoln does that, I feel like he's whining. And I
Yeah.
just want him to stop. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Right.
be a man.
Right.
Okay, so your dad wasn't around when you were a kid. You're how old now? 30? Get over it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
just
Time to move on.
move on, be a man. So it frustrates me every time. I just find that so unappealing. And you know, it came out a lot when he was a demon tonight. But I was so irritated by that because I know they're trying to play that up, but
That was very similar
Dr.
to
Emmett's supposed to be a hero. They're all out there looking for him, and whenever Lincoln attacks him, I just want to be like, well, then go home. Why'd you even bother to come look for your dad if you really feel that way? Because the whining is just, if I were on the boat, I'd be like, you've got to stop the whining.
Yeah. I feel like
I can't
that
stand it.
I feel like that was just a way for them to create something between these two characters. I
Yeah.
don't think it was justified, and I think it was an excuse to have some sort of conflict, but I don't think it was warranted, really. And we saw the exact same thing as Kendra would remember in Terra Nova. The 16-year-old son was really upset with his father, Jim Shannon.
Yeah, Mr. Shannon.
Mr. Shannon, for basically saving the world. And it's like, don't have a grudge against your father who literally is trying to save the human race.
Right.
You know, so it just didn't feel, the kid was 16, he looked like an Abercrombie model. And it's like, just go make out with somebody and feel, you know, it's so that storyline, you know, I wish if it was developed more, it would have been warranted, you know, cutting back to things of like, because, you know, when the videos that they have flashing back to them on the Magus was like the Dr. Emmet being nice to the
Being
kids
loving.
and loving.
They never, yeah, exactly. They never painted the picture of him being like,
No.
go away, kid.
Right.
Right.
Right. And then let's also talk about the mark on Lena.
Yeah.
That keeps moving.
That well,
Or it
it's-
seems to.
well,
It
so
was still in the general area, but yeah, and then Dr. Emmet said that it was a birthmark. Well, I think he was just flat out lying to her to protect her.
he was definitely flat out lying, but then that meant we never got an answer.
But this is also like, again, the character's just not reacting in like a normal way. Like,
Right.
you know, she has this mark that she notices on her neck that, like, you know, Lincoln has the necklace for, that they see like in the tank with the I guess the tribal, whoever, the angel, right? They had the
Yeah.
angel
With the wings, yeah.
And she just looks at it and looks at the camera like Jim from The Office does. You know, she's like,
What?
yeah. Wouldn't you be freaking out? Like, what is this? What is this? Somebody look at this.
Yeah.
Tell me what this is.
Yeah.
And
Am I dying? Is it spreading?
yeah, right. And she just like accepts that.
Yeah.
And then
From
accepts
Emmet.
it twice when Dr. Emmet won't tell her what it is.
Yeah, she's like, all right,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
As you were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I
that
mean-
was a great moment for her to really lose it.
Yeah.
Be like, I need to know.
Yeah. We just didn't get any. I just feel like we just got kind of ripped on
Yeah.
answers. We didn't get, because
Yeah.
this episode basically was like a brand new episode, not
Yep.
closing and tying it up with a
anything.
bow. So I don't know, why maybe perhaps they thought they would, are still thinking or were thinking that they would get picked up and this is the way they had written it from the beginning. But
Well, it seems like they wrote this finale assuming there'd be another season for sure.
and I can see one of those open wounds moving into another season, which would be
With the river closing up.
the river closing up. Exactly.
Which
But
was, I thought that was the coolest, most exciting part.
So
of it.
yeah,
Right.
so if they had answered all these questions, what is this marking? Who exactly? Where is Jahel's mother? Like if they had answered all these little questions in this episode, or not even brought them up in the first place, like
Dude,
where's Jahel's
yeah.
mother? And then just ended closing the river, that would have been pretty cool because they're trapped inside, and now we know all the details that we have to work with moving forward, but we don't know the details and they're trapped inside. So anyway, well, because we are getting a little bit far, and I just we're going to take a commercial break in a minute, but just final thoughts. I know that's kind of what we've been doing, but just final thoughts on today's episode, so I can feel like that if they hadn't tied it up with a bow, we have. So, anyone want to throw in anything?
I do want to say that I appreciate this episode seemed a lot more in line with episodes 1 through 5. I feel like 6 and 7, I don't know if it just felt like an afterthought or like, from the B-roll, I don't know, could have done without them. So I appreciated sort of coming back to where we started. But other than that, it was tremendously disappointing. And those are my final thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
I agree that not wrapping up certain elements was disappointing. However, I did find the whole exorcism thing with Lincoln to be one of the most exciting things that's happened in a while.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
Entertaining, but yeah, a lot of questions left unanswered.
Yeah.
And I feel the same. There's nothing else I can really elaborate on, but
You don't want to repeat yourself 20 times?
it was it was probably the most stressful episode for me. I was not breathing several times, and you guys didn't notice. But I'd like to see I'd like to see some.
Oh, we
kinda-
noticed.
Oh, there's that empty seat. I would like to see what's next. If they're gonna do like a special one-time something,
That'd be cool.
a blog post, something to tell us what's going on. After the Amazon closes up.
Same here.
That was a cool twist, I have to say.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool twist.
I really like that because now it won't be called the river; it'll be called
the pool,
the marsh.
Yeah, marshlands,
or just the. The dot.
Exactly. All right. Well, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with some special segments and wrap up the season finale of The River.
Awesome.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
Hey, you guys, welcome back to the River After Show for AfterBuzz TV. We are wrapping up the series by discussing the finale. And as we usually do, a special segment called Spirity Thing of the Week. This week, because it's the end of the series, potentially, we are going to talk about some of the favorite moments we had from the show or favorite things that we found in the show. And then we're also going to do some news and gossip. And Molly is going to give us some favorites of the actual actors, I believe, from the show. So Molly, why don't you start?
Cool. I just read briefly, I read an article online, and it talked about, it was of an interview of Leslie Hope and of Joe Anderson, so the roles of Tess and Lincoln, and they just talked about their favorite things. Joe has such a sense of humor. He said his favorite part of doing the show was getting a haircut.
That's funny.
And he said, I couldn't see Hawaii with that long hair in my face. And he also said that in the finale, he got to do a stunt. He didn't say what it was because I don't think he wanted to spoil it, but I'm guessing that it was the end when he was on the table and strapped down. Sure. Some of that amazing backbending, which Kristen, you commented might be a fabulous yoga move, may have been real, some of it, because he said he did. I can't imagine what else would have been the stunt. Right. Can you guys?
Maybe just jumping and falling from the gunshot. But
yeah,
that's not really a stunt.
I mean,
I think any actor could do that.
I mean, you would hope, but
I would hope, but you never know. Maybe. Right. And then Leslie Hope said, and then he said another thing was that while shooting, he said shooting on the ship, it was actually very creepy and damp, and the asylum was creepy, and he said that was really fun as an actor to be in an actual creepy element while shooting. And then the last thing that he said he really loved was that, something that we kind of made fun of in the beginning was like, how when you're an actor on the show, how many scared faces can you possibly do?
Right. Eventually,
and he said, you have to get inventive because you can't make the same scared face over and over, and the different thoughts and emotions and things that will evoke your facial reactions, I guess, was kind of fun for him on the shoot to try to figure that out. And then Leslie Hope, who plays Tess, said her favorite part of working on the show was actually getting to act with Bruce Greenwood, who plays Dr. Emmet, because there were times, where they weren't on set together and everything. And she said they've actually been good friends for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Which is cool. And she said while shooting in Hawaii, she was away from her own family and her own son. So she tied in those feelings a lot with the search for Dr. Emmet to what she was personally experiencing. She was having kind of a difficult time on set for a while, being away from her family. Sure. And then at the end, to get to actually act with Bruce, she's found very calming. And one thing, Kristen, you said that some reviewers online were saying that they they found Tess's character irritating. She said that she as an actress herself got annoyed with being the leader, and that it was nice when I'm paraphrasing everything, of course, when Bruce Greenwood's character, Dr. Emmet, came back, how he got to take over and she could kind of be the wife to the husband, and how it was kind of fun to change things up. And she did say after a long day of being frightened that they were all exhausted, which you don't really think about, but it's a lot of energy to, emit that fear all the time. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Bruce Greenwood, he seems like a good guy. I remember I said that before, and I think it's partly due the Canadian thing, the Canadian factor.
I was actually reading something, I think it was last week, and I found out that Tess is also Canadian.
Oh, wow.
Oh, is she?
It's just a
foreign
present
cast.
every week.
Close the borders.
Hey.
Yeah, we took our jobs.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Those Canadians are taking our jobs. That's so funny.
Those Canadians.
We're teasing.
Okay. Feeling comfortable.
Kate's offended. We love Canadians. Who could hate a Canadian? If you hate a Canadian, you're like evil.
Yeah, there's
Of course
something
we like
wrong with you.
Canadians.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, thanks, guys.
The
made it
Boiuna could
better.
hate a Canadian.
Right, yeah.
Biona.
Yeah, look out. Oh. And what did you really like about the show? Because I know in email, we were exchanging emails just trying to kind of maybe get a game plan. And I only said the zombies just because it was a quick reference point because, I know you said you enjoyed the last episode with the zombies. So I'm glad that you didn't find that your favorite part. So I'm relieved to know that. So what is your favorite?
My favorite part, and this is whenever I would describe the show to anybody else, I really like that they would draw on like actual myths, actual folklore, actual culture. And like, when we talked about, I feel like I keep bringing up spirit trees, but when we talked about spirit
cool,
trees
though.
that time, like I could not believe there was a real doll tree. Like, wow, how awesome. So I really appreciated that element of the show. Now, on like a sillier note, I really also appreciated those moments of like, oh, this is Emmet's. Like, it's Emmet's. It has to be Emmet's.
Right.
The only thing I ever, like, legit recognized was they found his hat, I think, in the asylum. And I was like, oh, that's Emmet's. But everything else was just like, oh, it's like...
It could have been anyone.
It's a washcloth. I know it's Emmet's.
Yeah.
Like, so... and also, like, again, just that behavior that, in the premiere, it opened with, like... like they were like capturing a ghost like in a coconut shell or whatever, and then like later when they're like, was it birds or locusts that both I think that were like pouring down on their ship? They're like, oh, is this a cold front? Like what is this?
Yeah, they were like, oh.
Yeah, the birds are
that
really
tickles.
cold and they're dying.
Yeah, so I mean it was just not normal responses, but I still found it quite amusing. So
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I overall reflection, I wish that there were more like creepy ghosts to me that seem like ghosts that live in your house. And after last week, we had a very long conversation about ghost stories. And I've been freaked out ever since. I think I have some sort of like OCD about thinking about things. Like once I get it in my head, I don't stop thinking about it. But I've been okay functioning with it. I'm almost like, you know what? If it's here, I'm cool. Like we're buds. Like I almost, feel that way. But I left the other day with my boyfriend and we came back and we always leave the TV on for our cat just so he feels like he has some company. And the TV was off, which was creepy. And I said, well, did the power go out? But the computer was still up with like the websites that he had been on and everything. So that kind of creeped me out. So
that is creepy.
Yeah. In one sense, I'm actually happy that they didn't have more of that because it would make it harder for me to sleep at night. But I did my favorite thing, I guess you could say. I didn't find one particular thing besides the spirit trees really jump out at me. And I found Captain Kurt to be handsome. So so I've kind of chosen him as my favorite thing from the show just because I think to me, all the actors seem to do a very good job. For those scary faces, I mean, like you said, how many can you come up with? And they did a good job at coming up with quite an array of Fear Faces, but
Fear Faces.
I don't know. New TV show.
This is a fear.
Welcome to Fear Face.
Who can look the most scared?
Right. But I think he did. I think. Yeah, there he is. There's my
That's
boy.
your man.
Captain Kirk.
He, to me, kind of reminded me of someone who would be in the movies. He just seems like a big screen guy. And I'm not dissing on TV. I love TV. But I could definitely see him doing like larger things. And that's kind of why I found him attractive, I think, because he just, I don't know, there's something hot
There he is.
about
There's
him.
your guy again.
Yeah.
He
But
could do a
there's the large
calendar.
gun. The picture that I tried to send to Ronnie, I don't know if Ronnie got or not, but he has long hair pulled back, and I find it so sexy. He's wearing black in it. I don't know if you're seeing it, Ronnie, but it's a good looking pic.
At first, I thought your crush on him was a joke.
No, I think I actually find him like attractive, which is weird because I normally like dark haired guys with like I'm not like into these Aryan looking types, but sorry. But oh my god, I just literally spit all over this microphone. But anyway, his name is Thomas Kretschmann. He was born in Germany.
So he's really German.
He's actually German, and he's 49 years old. So he's kind of got that like.
Looks good for his age.
Yeah, yeah. He's kind of got that almost like older man, like wisdomy kind of look, sexy, whatever.
Kristen, I think you need to be alone.
It's getting weird. But I was just like, I don't know, because I just figured I'd tell you about him a little bit rather than just saying like I like him and then not saying anything about him.
Well, actually, that's really interesting that he's actually German because he I thought a lot about dialects on the show. First of all, because so many of the actors are foreign, and also because they're occasionally interspersed with Spanish. And then on tonight's episode, last week we heard Kurt speak German, and then again this week he and Lincoln spoke German. Oh my God, is that the man?
Oh, that's
like
not
Fabio.
a picture, but that's. God, now I'm never gonna live it down. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he had long hair in a couple of the pictures.
Or it's kind of Brad Pitt in Legends of
I really,
Fallish.
I love chest hair on a man. I do. I let like
I
the
knew
hairier
someone was
the
gonna
better.
go there.
And it was me. So, so yeah. So that's great. I don't like this necklace.
Yeah.
For those of you listening on iTunes, I can only imagine how.
Just Google image him,
Just
and you'll see exactly what we're talking about.
Was he a working established actor in Germany, or is this?
Yes, he was, and then he transitioned to movies in the United States, and he was in King Kong. He also played a captain in that, Captain Englehorn, which is not the sexiest name of all time, but I'm sure he pulled it off. He's been in a lot of things. The Bionic Woman, Valkyrie, which is a big movie with Tom Cruise. Oh my God.
Totally different
what's the difference?
Dracula, so he does a lot of different things, and currently this was his most recent project, but he is divorced, so good news for anyone else who has the same feelings as I do. And I think that's all I'll really say, just because I don't want it to get super creepy, but go to his Wikipedia, because that's what I'm just doing right now. But I found him to be a very, very good actor, so that's why I wanted to talk about him. And so now let's get to our news and gossip, and then we're going to call it a show.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Hey. And I know I didn't really have a favorite thing, but I think my favorite thing, if I were to choose something, was that the show, even though we were all confused by it, I think it kind of inspired all of our conversations, and they were insightful and funny, and so I enjoyed that part.
My new favorite thing is listening to Kristen talk about Kurt.
I know. Well,
I could go on.
Gonna do that after. She'll have to do an after show for everything he does. And so about Paul Blackthorne, who played Clark quietly. Nobody seemed to say he was. Well, no,
He's
I think we
handsome.
did. Yeah,
He's definitely very handsome.
I was going to say, I'm on board. He's actually, in real life, he's working on a documentary about America, and it's called This American Journey, for anyone who's interested in documentaries.
Is he from another country as well?
He's British, actually.
Oh.
He's 43.
Oh, wow. I would have.
Interesting.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's basically about the challenges Americans have and the country's facing in the wake of the economic downturn. So he's doing it along with Australian photographer Mr. I'm going to massacre his name, Basque. I don't know if you guys know of him.
Basque?
Basque, Basquai. Oh, With no planned route, they got on the road. First-time filmmakers went through the American heartland. From New York to California, they talked with people about their lives, what's important to them, and the continuing viability of the American dream. So 3,000 miles in a car full of life lessons. Later, discover what the so-called ordinary Americans are anything but. So I thought that was interesting. In other interesting news about something I won't participate in, they are penning a Paranormal Activity 4.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And
That's
I'm not going
interesting.
to partake because I'm still scared from number one.
You couldn't breathe into that
Right. Yeah. I don't know if I can handle it. Not to say it's not going to be a great movie, but I don't know if I could handle it. So Zach Estrin closed the deal, and he has a strong relationship with the filmmakers behind the Loop Paranormal franchise, and he's the writer, executive producer on The River, who he's worked with Jason Blum. Is it Blum? B-L-U-M?
I think so.
I've known a Blum in my life, but
That's how they pronounced it?
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I keep these names. So yeah, that was the other exciting news. So all of you Paranormal Activity fans can check it out.
Wow.
That was cool.
Well, well, we'll close it on this note that you guys can definitely check out Paranormal Activity continuing. But The River, we don't know if it will be going on. There's been some reports that it most likely will be canceled. It's kind of in that bracket of like maybe, but most likely not.
Yeah, I've
so
heard
that
different things.
Yeah, but that's the most. I looked on all the different websites, and that was basically the main consensus. So I think we won't have answers, but we really appreciate everyone listening to us and our podcast. And I've enjoyed, like Kendra said, I'm really glad that you mentioned that because it did inspire some interesting conversation. And
That was
It did.
yeah, and that's
We had
fun.
fun.
It's we're talking about things that we wouldn't otherwise. So. Unless we smoked a few bones. So, just kidding. I don't do that stuff. So, check out Maria Menounos on Dancing with the Stars. Keep voting for her. She did great last night, and you guys can check her out this coming Monday as well, and hopefully more Mondays and more Mondays and more Mondays. So, if you guys want to shoot out your Twitters, and then we'll peace out. Sure. You can follow me at Kristen Carney and check out my blog, sweatthesmallstuffwithkristen.com.
And I'm at Kendra Kababsele, Kendra Kabasele.
And you can find me at mollyharpercomedy.com.
And you can find me at, you can tweet me at Koppel for Mayor.
She's not actually in Twitter. She's not on Twitter. She's in it somehow. Yeah, you can't physically find her.
But I'm finding a way.
Good. Get in there.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. It's like the bug. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the bugs. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to us here on AfterBuzz TV of The River. We hopefully will see you next season, but if not, we'll check you later.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.